Hello, and welcome to Retirement Safety Zone series on how to give care when you can't be there. That's something that's touched all of our lives, either for ourselves, being isolated, alone, without someone to help out, maybe in college when we weren't feeling well and all you had at the other end of the line was mom or dad telling you it was going to be all right. Well, nowadays we have people we love and care for, and this being the modern world, it's likely we're not nearby. There's still that telephone call. Give your loved one a call and don't be shy to find out what's going on with them. Maybe probe just gently to see if there's something they really need right now. And we'll give you some more tips later on how you can help with that. If you can do video conferencing, your friend or loved one, family member is feeling up to handling a Zoom call or Skype or something where you can see how they're doing, that not only can be very intimate, it can also give you clues and spark ideas on things that you could do that might make things a little bit better for them. Think about being that college student when you were back in college or first time away from your hometown and you caught the flu or a really bad cold and you're all alone in that stupid apartment looking at the same four walls, and you get a call from mom or dad or your sister or best friend, and you just get to kind of lay it all out there and you feel a little bit better afterwards. Well, that's our first tip. Just stay in touch. In fact, the old-fashioned card or letter or a picture your children made, that can be a wonderful living, enduring way to stay in touch. It's something that your loved one, your sister or your child can keep around, and it can remind them every day that there's someone out there that really cares about them. It can even be fun to share stories if you have children or you're a writer yourself, or you just remember something joyful or fun or silly in the past. Share a few stories like that. It gives a little moment of brightness and intimacy to what can be a lonely time. Those are our first two tips. The third tip is getting a little more serious. If you feel like you can get more involved in your loved one's life, it's a great idea if you can talk to them about neighbors that they have a trust with or a relationship with, or maybe family members that are in their area, and try to get a hold of them. Team up and find ways to touch base with this loved one, with your friend or family member. Maybe not on a daily basis, but something regular, so there's someone with eyes on the situation, able to see if the house is clean. Okay, if they don't usually keep the house clean, don't worry about it. But if you see a change, if anyone sees a change in circumstances for your loved one, that's usually a clue something is not being taken care of. It's not going right, whether it's because they're too weak due to the ailment they have, or they're grieving or depression. If it's an emotional situation, it could be a case of someone needing to intervene. And that can be a hard call. Make sure you're talking, you're staying in communication, and you have a pretty solid idea of whether this is a change or just a bad day. You can always call the police if it's an emergency situation. It's part of their normal routine to do wellness checks. But kind of a last resort, you don't want to scare your loved one with a police call. But in an emergency, that can be life-saving, so don't be shy. The fourth tip would be just to help with shopping. You know, if you're not feeling well for whatever reason, how your energy just kind of falls to a low ebb, it's hard to get anything done, or you may be physically unable to get certain things done, like making sure you have toothpaste or eggs and bread in the fridge, or juice or tea, whatever it is that you need. So you can help your friend by online shopping with them, making sure to get the things that they really care about, and you can have them delivered to their door. Or if it's a trusted neighbor or a friend or family member that you're teaming up with, you can do the shopping part and they could do the delivery part and help put things away. So there's lots of ways to team up with a local crew, or just try to get some things done if there's not. And on top of shopping, I mean, we're thinking about everyday needs. What else do you need? You need your prescriptions. So the easiest thing to do is just ask them, hey, are you getting your medicine on time? Are you running out of anything? And try to get a sense if cost has become an issue, because that's something you can do something about very easily. You can shop for discounts online for them and call the pharmacist. They will even deliver the medication to your loved one's home. So it's a very practical thing that you can do without being there. And on top of prescriptions, now we're starting to get into the sense of a more personal touch. Maybe some people will feel it to be more invasive, and that would be the step of, okay, your friend is usually well groomed, clothes are clean, house is clean, and you just had a video call, and that things aren't right. They're still in their jammies. Maybe you nudged them a little to find out when the last shower was, or maybe you have a sense that, you can kind of share your own stories. The sense is, what isn't going right in their life that they usually feel good about? Are they worried about lawn mowing? That can be a simple spirit lifting thing you can take care of, or help them take care of with outside help in their life. There are other more intimate and more difficult things to talk about, obviously, like not being able to use the toilet on their own, or get their zipper zipped, or get up and down from their bed. There may be some more serious things going on, or some simple things like, hey, it sure be nice to have someone come every now and then and clean the house for me because I can't do it. I don't feel well enough. These are varying degrees of help. For some people, having a house cleaner would be the last thing they want. It's too personal and you might have to build up to that. For other people, that's the easiest way you could help them. Again, it's about rapport. It's about teaming up with whoever's there on the ground that can give you some tips on what's going on. And then calling in, maybe it's just the neighbor's kid to mow the lawn, or a friend's house cleaner to come in once a week, or maybe it's time to get more serious and start arranging a case manager for care. We have more guidance on all of these tips online, so feel free to check it out at retirementsafetyzone.com. The whole series is on a single page once you get started on one of the episodes. Links, all kinds of stuff to help you out. Now we're getting into, in this tip series, we're getting into even more, I hate to say aggressive, but certainly steps that you don't want to take lightly, and that would be to actually get in touch with their caregivers. Become part of the team that's watching out for your friend. Make sure they know how to reach you. Make sure they know you're watching. And check in regularly for status reports if they'll allow you to, because it reminds them that to check on your loved one in particular, so they have something to say, and it lets them know someone's around who cares. It's a good way to build a team with caregivers and medical providers. So our 8th tip as medical providers. All right, now we're really getting serious here. We are needing, at this point, we're talking about getting a list of all the people that provide health care for your loved one, even if it's a physical therapist because there was a recent surgery, and getting more involved, being the person that they know is going to check up with them to make sure your loved one's getting the care that they deserve and need. Sometimes it can be very difficult for providers and caregivers to know that something's wrong. Because as we mentioned before, I may keep my house messier than my best friend who keeps things neat as a pin. Okay, so if my house is a little more lived in, then that's not a big deal. But if I'm in dirty clothes or there's stacks of dishes in my living room, that might be a problem. Something's not going right. Those are the kinds of limits that or changes that someone that like you, someone who knows your sister or your friend or your child very well and knows what's normal, you have an insight that the care providers do not. You may be the one that says, hey, they couldn't hear me on the phone. Did they get the batteries changed in their hearing aids? They couldn't see me very well. Are cataracts coming on? Is that why things aren't going well in their life? These are the kinds of insights that are so valuable to the providers and to your loved one to have communicated. That's our 8th tip. The last one is where you're really involved in their lives. They trust you, they know you, they've given permission, maybe a durable power of attorney or a medical power of attorney. Maybe even financial. This is where you kind of start to take the reins. It would be in a obviously a crisis situation, something more extreme. You're then going to be trying to find the documents that are needed to pay the bills, for example. What's their health insurance? What are the numbers that need to be called to make sure claims are made or permission is given for certain kinds of care? Do they have long-term or short-term care policies or cancer policies? If that's the situation, there might be money out there to help your friend, and they, because of their condition, may not either be able to manage it or even remember that it's there. We have a checklist on our 9th tip. It can give you some ideas of things that might come into play during this time of crisis or even just recovery, pain and recovery for your loved one, and be a very strong force for their recovery and for the next step that they need to make in their life. So thank you for spending time with me today while I go through the tips here. If you want more detailed information, if you'd like some of the cheat sheets, forms we have that you can fill out, or articles on more in-depth tips on how to talk about difficult situations or what kind of help is actually out there if extra help is needed, please check our website, retirementsafetyzone.com, or give me a call. I'm happy to connect you up. Not everyone's web savvy. So thank you very much, and find some joy and some satisfaction in being able to do something real for the person you love that's not nearby.